Hi guys. How are you? As soon as we have a few more students in class, I'll start. Oh. All right. Hi guys. How is everyone?
We are okay, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you guys ready for more grammar? We're doing phrasal verbs today.
Very good idea.
Yeah, I had one of my students suggest phrasal verbs, and I thought it was a very good idea because phrasal verbs can be very, very tricky.
Especially when you are writing something. I think we need to learn all of these things.
Yeah, definitely. And they can be very complicated, so hopefully we'll learn a little bit today. We'll do introductions. So we have several people in class. In the chat box, Eduardo says, "Oh no, why exist phrasal verbs?" Yeah, phrasal verbs can be very, very complicated and tricky, and many phrasal verbs have different meanings, like 4 or 5 different meanings. So that can be difficult too. But after practice, I think it will be easier. And every time you practice, it will get a little bit easier. So hopefully this will help a lot. Okay, so I'll start off by telling you guys a little bit about myself. My name is Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I have been teaching English for a couple of years now, but I just started with Verbling 2 weeks ago. So I'm very new, but very excited to be with Verbling, and I really, really enjoy meeting every new student we have. So I'm glad you guys are all in class today, and I'm excited to get to know you. All right, so now you guys tell me a little bit about yourself. How about tell me your name, where you're from, and tell me about your family, if you have siblings or if you live near your family. How about that? So first person is Alberto. Where are you from, Alberto?
Hello, I'm from Mexico.
Awesome. And tell me about your family. Do you have siblings?
Can you repeat, please?
Do you have siblings, like brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have 2 sisters.
Okay, and do they live close to you?
Yes, yes, I do.
Are you guys friends or not really?
Yes, I really, yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. Okay. Aisegul, I think you might still be having audio trouble, which is totally fine. I'm happy to have you in class anyways. Just message me on the Verbling chat box. Oh, I see. From Turkey. So you're from Turkey. That's really great. And what about your family? Two brothers? Do they live with you or near you? Okay, living with my family. That's great. That's really cool. So I'm glad to have you in class. Would you do me a favor and use the verb link chat box so that we can all be on one? It's on the very left of your screen. You should see an icon at the bottom that it has a V on it. And if you click that, you should be using the verb link chat box. I only ask that you do that so that everyone can be messaging on one chat box, because otherwise everyone has to be switching back and forth between two. Okay, but if you can't use the verb link chat box, I'll make sure to include you on the Google chat box as well. Okay, next person. Let's see who we have.
Hello. Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon also.
Hi.
My name is Efe. I am from Istanbul.
Awesome. Great to have you with us. Tell us about your family.
Yeah, I have one sister also. She's 18 years old.
Cool. And does she live with you or close to you?
No, I'm living in Istanbul. My sister lives with my family in my hometown. The one of other city in Turkey also. Yeah, I'm living alone actually. You know, in my free time, I'm visiting with my in my family, in my hometown. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, thank you, Michaela.
Cool. It's glad to have you with us. I'm glad to have you with
Thank
us.
you very much. Nice to meet you. I appreciate it to join your class also.
All right, Lorenzo.
Hello.
Hi, Lorenzo. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself, where you're from, and tell us about your family.
I'm from Valencia, from Spain, and I have a sister, and she lives near.
Okay, cool. And are you friends with her?
Yes.
Or so-so?
And I have 2 sons.
Oh, great. That's really cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for sharing with us. Mario, will you tell us about yourself?
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Mario and I am from Guatemala.
Awesome. And do you live close to her?
Can you repeat, please?
Do you live close to her? Live near her or with her?
I can hear you very well.
I'll write it in the chat box. There you go. Do you live with her?
I don't have brothers and I don't have a sister.
Oh, I thought you said you had one sister.
I am only.
Okay. Yeah, you're an only child.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll be your company today. Good to have you with us. Samir, will you tell us about yourself and your family?
Yes. My name is Samir Suleiman. I'm from Saudi Arabia.
And what about your family? Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Awesome. Do you live near them?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Next up, we have Sergio. Will you tell us about yourself, Sergio?
Hi, Michaela. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Okay. My name is Sergio. I'm from Brazil, and I come from a big family here. But actually, I'm married, and just my wife and me. And Mm, Not soon. For a while, but
Wow.
I will.
That's really awesome. Congratulations to you too.
Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good to have you with us.
Good too.
And Vincent, will you tell us about yourself?
Okay, hello, teacher Michaela. Hello, everyone. Here's Vicente speaking from Brazil. Well, I have two siblings, one sister and one brother, but I don't need to.
All right, cool. So thank you for sharing with us. And now I think we're ready to start class. Does everybody have the phrasal verbs page up? It's on when you enter class. There's always like some kind of link below if we're going to use something in class. So I'll put it in the chat box for you guys. But hopefully you have it already. Does everyone see it?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So this is our notes on phrasal verbs. I made some notes on a document so that you guys can have them for yourself and review them later, or if you need help with something, you can look at them yourself later. So, phrasal verbs. Can I have someone read the first paragraph? It's kind of a long paragraph, but let's have, let me see, who can read this? Mario, would you like to try and read it for us?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Will you read out loud?
Yes, I'm reading. I can see the picture.
It should just be words. There are no pictures on this document.
About phrasal verbs?
Yeah, it starts with phrasal verbs are usually 2 words. That's how it starts.
I know some phrasal verbs like call back.
Yeah, that's a great example of a phrasal verb. Thank you. Okay, let's have Alberto. Can you read the first paragraph for us?
Yes. Phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are usually two-word phrases consisting of verb plus adverb or verb plus preposition. Think of them as you would any other English vocabulary and study them as you come across them rather than trying to memorize many at once. Use the list below as a reference guide when you find an expression that you don't recognize. The examples will help you understand the meanings. If you think of each phrasal verb as a separate verb with a specific meaning, you will be able to remember it more easily. Like many other verbs, phrasal verbs often have more than one meaning.
Okay, thank you. I know that was a long paragraph. So now, do you think you can give us one example of a phrasal verb? This is still Alberto. Can you give us one example of a phrasal verb?
Me?
Can you hear me,
Give up?
Alberto?
Give up?
Oh, give up. Yeah. That's a perfect example of a phrasal verb. Thank you. Aisegul, do you want to type a phrasal verb into the chat box for us? And in the meantime, Batty Luis, can you give us an example of a phrasal verb? Batty Luis, can you give us an example of a phrasal verb?
Shut up.
Shut up, yeah. Not a very nice one, but a perfect example of a phrasal verb. Okay. And Aisegul gave us one too. She said, get out or give up. Those are both very good examples. Thank you. Okay, Effie, will you give us an example of a phrasal verb as well?
Sure. For example, hang out.
Hang out. Yeah, that's a very common one. It's a very
Yeah.
cool one.
Yeah. Or I get up early in the morning. Like.
Get up.
Mhm.
How about Lorenzo? Can you give us an example of a phrasal verb?
Fill up.
Fill up, like what? What can you fill up?
Fill up to full something.
Oh, to fill something?
Yes, to fill something, all the capacity.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Mario, can you give us an example? An example of a phrasal verb? Mario, can you hear me?
Yes.
So, can you give me an example of a phrasal verb like come in, get out, fill up? Can you think of another one?
For example, come back.
Come back, yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, Samir, your turn. Can you give us a phrasal verb?
Break up.
What?
Break up.
Wake up.
Break
Oh,
up.
break up. Break up too, yeah. There are so many phrasal verbs. Yeah, that's a perfect one. Thank you. Sergio, give us a phrasal verb.
Yeah. Uh, a lot. uh, like pass away, pass out, wake up, get in, get out, take her off.
Awesome. Thank you. Those are great ones.
Okay.
Okay, and last person, Vincent, will you give us an example of a phrasal verb?
Okay, let me see. To get by.
Get by, yeah. That's an interesting one, definitely. Okay, so some of these phrasal verbs that we mentioned have different properties that we're going to talk about. Some are transitive and intransitive, and some are separable or inseparable. We're going to talk about those now because they make an important grammatical difference. First, we're going to talk about the difference between transitive and intransitive. So let's see, Batty, will you read the number 1 where it says transitive? Will you read that section for us?
Okay. Transitive takes an object, something, or someone to complete meaning. To hand in, Tom handed in the homework. The object homework. To look for, she is looking for her right shoe. Object shoe.
Okay, thank you. Effie, will you read where it says number 2?
Sure. Intransitive mean doesn't take an object to complete meaning. To fall through. Our plans fell through. No object. To go back. He went back to Brazil. No object. To stand up. He stood up. No object.
Awesome, thank you. So some take objects and some do not. What about normal verbs, like everyday verbs, like walk and bring, and can those be transitive and intransitive too? Does anyone know this?
It can be both.
Yeah, it can be. So all verbs can be transitive or intransitive. We have something like say and tell. This one is often a mistake with English learners. We have the verb say and the verb tell. and one is transitive and one is intransitive. Which one is transitive? Does anybody know? Is say or tell transitive?
I think to say is
So why do you think say is transitive?
because it doesn't need an object.
Right, so say, the verb say does not need an object. So that would make it intransitive, no object. And tell is transitive because you need to put an object. So if I use the word tell, I have to put an object attached to it. I can't leave it without an object. Okay, thank you, Ahmad. That's perfect explanation in the chat box. Okay, sorry for the pause, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties. Look, Asegul has a good response for us also. She said, some are transitive, some are transitive. Tell is transitive because stay doesn't take an object. Perfect, thank you. All right, so now we're going to continue down the page, and we have a part about separable and inseparable. So separable starts with A and it's in green. Lorenzo, will you read that for us?
Separable. The object can go after the particle or between the verb and the particle. Examples: to hand in. Tom handed the homework in. Tom handed in the homework. To take off. I took my gloves off. I took off my gloves.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Are there more?
No, continue or not?
No, you can stop there. I just want to talk about this for a second. So separable and inseparable verbs are all part of transitive. So it has to be transitive, and then you have to decide if it's separable or inseparable. You can't have a separable or inseparable intransitive. That's impossible. Okay. So now we have the little golden rule marking. Let's see. Mario, will you read that for us, the golden rule?
What part?
It says the phrasal verb golden rule. Will you read that for us, Mario?
What I'm going to read?
It's about halfway down, or no, it's at the very top of the second page, and it says the phrasal verb golden rule, and it has yellow highlight on it.
Okay, the phrasal verb golden rule. If you use an directed object pronoun, me, you, him, her, it, us, them, the phrasal verb must be separate, going between the verb and the particle. Correct, Tom handed it in. Incorrect, Tom handed in it. I took them off. Incorrect, I took off them.
Okay, perfect. So the incorrect ones are obviously impossible formations. And this is a really helpful rule because it is always, always, always going to be this way. You don't have to, there's no irregular or anything like that. It's always going to be like this. So at least that's nice, that it's always going to be the same way. Okay. Samir, will you read the next section?
Okay. Inseparable, the object must go after the particle. Example: I'm looking for house. To come across, he come across a good book at the store. separable or inseparable phrasal verb. Some dictionaries tell you when verbs are separable. If a dictionary writes look something up, you know that the phrasal verb look up is separable, and you can say look something up and look up something. It's a good idea to write somebody as appropriate in your vocabulary book when you learn a new phrasal verb like this. Get up, break down, put something, somebody off, turn, set, static, spy down.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for reading that for us. So if you have dictionaries, which I hope you all do, if you have dictionaries, they'll usually tell you if it's transitive or intransitive, and they'll show you where you're supposed to put the object if it needs an object. So that's very helpful if you have a dictionary. If not, no big deal. Okay, so that's all the notes I have on phrasal verbs, and it's pretty simple actually, right? I mean, does anyone have any questions on this, or would you just like to get into some practice?
Yeah, I have a question. I have a question.
Yes, what's your question?
It's necessary to have a different meaning when we have a phrasal verb. I mean, different from the verb. Is it a verb?
So are you asking the difference between look and look up or look down?
Yeah, because phrasal verb is a combination of the verb and the preposition. So the preposition changes the meaning of the verb itself. So
Yes,
is it a verb?
Yeah, so most of the time, a phrasal verb has a very different meaning than the normal verb. For instance, if you say look, you're talking about like using your eyes to look at something. If you say look up, you're talking about searching for something. If you say look down, it could mean that you're insulting a person. If you say look down, like if I look down at a person, it could mean that I'm insulting them. So they have very different meanings depending on which phrasal verb you use, and it doesn't always correlate to the original verb, look.
Okay, I got it.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Does anyone else have a question? No other questions?
No.
Okay, awesome. So now this was also attached to the class, but if you don't have it, I'm going to message it to you. That is a really useful website on common phrasal verbs.
Okay.
So they also separate and give you some grammar points. And also, if you're curious, they have other grammar topics as well, like determiners and interjections and whatever else you might want. So if you're curious, you can look there. But this, for our purposes today, has a lot of phrasal verbs that we're going to use to make sentences together. So they show you the verb, they tell you its actual meaning, as we just talked about. The actual meaning doesn't always mean the same thing as the original verb. So if you look on here, the very first verb is blow up, which means to explode. And that doesn't have anything to do with the verb blow. So they're very different. But I think it's a pretty helpful list of verbs, and I think that if you guys use it and study it, that you'll probably have a lot of luck. Okay, Now I think we're going to, if no one has any other questions, we're going to start making some sentences. So I would like to assign everybody a verb, and I would like you guys to come up with a sentence, okay? So make your own creative, original sentence for me, and I'm going to give you each a verb, okay? So let's see. Let's have Alberto. Would you do hang up? Your verb is hang up.
Yes. Hang up.
So give me a sentence. Try and make it complicated.
What does hang up mean?
Hang up? Can
Yes.
someone tell him what hang up means? Hang up. Like this. Does anyone know what the verb hang up means?
Yeah. Got me to extend the time.
Hang up the phone for me, for example.
Hang up what?
Hang up the phone.
Sure. Hang up sometimes means to hang up the telephone. So if you're talking on the telephone and you click the red button and you end the call, you finish the call, you hang up the call. What
Okay.
else? What else does it mean? Can you guys think of any other meanings for hang up?
Hang
Does
up,
anyone know another one?
hang up a coat.
Yeah, hang up a coat. So you could hang up a coat or a t-shirt. You put it on a little triangular piece of wood or plastic, and you put it in your closet, and you say, hang up. There's even more meanings, but that's all we'll do for today because those are the most simple. Marcella, your sentence isn't completely correct. It says, I want to hang up with my friends tonight. It would be more correct if you used hang out. So hang out with my friends. Hang out at the mall. But you could hang up a picture on the wall. So, okay. So now, can you try the sentence? Alberto, will you use hang up in a sentence?
Okay. Don't forget to hang up your clothes in.
Okay, that's perfect. Now, will you use a direct object pronoun in the sentence? So use it. Use it in your sentence.
Okay. Okay.
Can you give us a new sentence using both the verb hang up and it?
Sorry.
Would you like to give us another sentence using the same verb, hang up, and the verb and the pronoun it? So how can we put it with the phrasal verb? Remember how we talked about whether it's separable or inseparable, and there's the golden rule? How can we use the golden rule?
Okay. I don't know.
Okay, can anyone help him out? How can we add in the pronoun there? How about Body? Body Luis, can you help him and use the pronoun with the verb hang up?
Whatever pronoun?
Pronoun, something like it, them, him, her, it.
Okay. Okay. I hang up you.
Ah, okay, so I tricked you. This one, do you remember where it said the golden rule? Go back to your notes.
I hang you up. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that is a possible sentence. The actual form is correct. Although it's kind of a funny sentence, isn't it? I hang you up. What does that mean?
That we were talking and finish the call? No.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you could say that. That would make sense. It's not a very common way to say it, but it totally is correct, and you definitely use the right form. So that's the most important part. Thank you for participating with us. Okay. Let's see. Who's next? Let's have Effie. Will you make a sentence using the verb look over? Look over.
Look over.
Uh-huh.
Look over. Can you explain me what does it mean, look over?
Does anybody know what the phrasal verb look over means? Can anyone help him with the meaning of that phrasal verb? If you guys need help, I'm using all of the verbs that I gave you on the link. Do you remember I sent you a link of the list of phrasal verbs?
Michaela, I can make a sentences.
Okay.
They looked over the dictionary before they bought it.
Perfect. So in that case, how are you using look over? What does it mean?
It means to check in, I think.
To what?
To check in before to buy something, for example. To control, I mean.
No, not quite check in. Maybe to control. Someone put in the chat box to examine, which is a very easy way to think of it. It's to examine or to completely look at something to make sure that you've seen everything. Oh, also Marcella has a question for us. Maybe you guys can answer her. Hang-ups. What are hang-ups? Does anyone know what a hang-up is? Like the noun, a hang-up? If nobody knows, I'll just tell you. A hang-up can be something that you're insecure about. So if I say that I have hang-ups, it means that I am insecure. Or if I say that my hair is a hang-up for me. For me, my hair is a hang-up. It means it's something I'm insecure about. I just answered that because Marcella asked in the chat box. So I wanted to make sure she got her answer. Okay, so back to, what were we? Look over. Look over. So how about, can someone make a sentence for me using the verb look over and a pronoun? Like it, them, her, him. We're using the golden rule, so it should be very easy. How about Lorenzo? Would you try and make a sentence for us using the verb look over and a pronoun? Do you remember the golden rule?
Yes, I'm thinking, but I don't.
So the golden rule, if you use a direct object pronoun like me, you, him, her, it, us, or them, the phrasal verb must be separated. So it's always going to be separated if you're using a direct object pronoun. And it gives you some examples. I took them off, Tom handed it in. So if you're going to use look over and a pronoun, you already know where the pronoun is going to go. You just need to come up with a creative sentence to do. Can anyone help him with a direct object pronoun? No one? Okay. Let's try one more time. Mario, can you come up with a sentence using look over and a direct object pronoun? It should be pretty simple. Do you guys have questions as far as the meaning of look over or how I can use it? Is that the problem?
I am thinking in one sentence.
Okay.
For example, I'm going to look over your bag.
Okay, that does make sense. It's a perfect form sentence, but it does not contain a direct object pronoun. So direct object pronouns are things like it, him, her, me, us. So can you just replace the noun you used with a direct object pronoun? Like it? So you used a noun at the end of your sentence. If you need to change it to a direct object pronoun, what you're going to do is put it between the verb. So I'll help you guys with this one. You could say, look it over, look them over, look him over. If it is a direct object pronoun, it's always going to come between the verb and the preposition. So that's actually pretty easy to remember because it's always the same. The direct object pronoun comes between. So you could say, I will look over the bank statements. And in that case, the noun is at the end. Or you could say, I will look them over. So if you change it to a direct object pronoun, you need to separate the verb from the pronoun, or from the preposition. Is everyone clear on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Alberto has a good one. Awesome. Thank you, Alberto. He wrote it in the chat box. My teacher looked over the tests. She looked them over. Okay. She looks them over. Perfect. The only correction. What?
I have sentence.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I have a sentence.
Oh, okay. Tell us your sentence.
My brother go to the dentist and he looked him over.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a perfect sentence. Thank you. Just make sure, guys. I noticed a couple people make errors. If it's third person, like he looks, you have to make sure to put that S there. He looks, she looks. So in Alberto's sentence, he says, my teacher look, but it should be looks over the test, or the dentist looks over him. Lorenzo gave us one. The police are looking over the crime scene. The police are looking it over. Thank you, Lorenzo. Eduardo, before takeoff, the pilot looks. Make sure to keep that S in there. Before takeoff, the pilot looks over the instruments. Great, thank you. After the accident, the doctor looks him over. Denise, make sure to put the S. If it's present tense, third person, you need to put the S. So after the accident, the doctor looks him over, although that's probably past tense, in which case it would be looked with an ED at the end. Marcella, mouse and table relationship, one is under the other. Okay, looks like Ahmad has one too. The interviewer looked over my CV before the interview. Yes, thank you. And Denise corrected his sentence. Thank you, guys. Now you guys have it. I feel like you definitely understand a little bit better than a few minutes ago. Okay, so let's have Vincent do a sentence for us. Can you make a sentence using the verb pick up? Yeah, a sentence using the verb pick up.
Okay, I picked up my sister at the college.
Awesome. I picked up my sister at the what? What was the last thing you said?
At the college.
At the college?
I
Okay,
picked
so
her up at the college.
perfect. Both sentences are correct. So you can say, I picked up my sister at the college, or I picked my sister up at the college. Those are both correct. Or if you're going to use a pronoun, you could say, I picked her up. And in that case, we can only use the pronoun between the two. We cannot say, I picked up her. That's not a possible. So thank you. You did it perfectly. Okay, Ahmad, we're back to you. We're going to do a few more phrasal verbs. So I'm still doing separable phrasal verbs. I don't know if you guys are looking at the list, but if you are, it's very helpful because it tells you which are separable and which are not separable. So Ahmad, will you tell us a sentence using the verb turn down? Do you know what the verb turn down means?
Turn down, I think make something low, to low, lower something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Usually, I think it's used for the volume of radio or TV or something like that.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Is it right?
Okay, yeah, try a sentence for us.
Okay then, yeah. Could you turn the volume down, please?
Yeah, that's a perfect use. Can you put the volume on the other side? So you said, can you turn the volume down, please, right? Is it possible to say, can you turn down the volume? Is it possible? Does anybody know? This isn't just for Ahmad. Does anybody know? Is this a separable verb or an inseparable verb?
I think it's okay to say to turn down the volume.
Yes, it is. So this verb is separable, meaning that you can say turn down the volume or turn the volume down. Both are fine. So those are easy ones. Now, what if we were going to use a pronoun? How can we use turn down and a pronoun? How about, let's have Alberto, will you make a sentence for us using the verb turn down and a pronoun?
Can you turn it down?
Sure, turn it down. That's perfect. So now I think we have it. You guys got it. Badi, will you make a sentence for us using get over? This one's a tricky one, so be careful. Use the phrasal verb get over.
It means disappointment. No, what does it mean? Get over.
It doesn't exactly mean, well, sometimes it can mean disappointment, but it basically means to finish with disappointment. So if you look at the list, the definition they give you is to recover from sickness or disappointment. So to recover from disappointment.
Yeah. Okay. My girlfriend broke up with me, but I get it over.
Okay, almost. Here's the problem with that one. This one is inseparable, which means that we cannot use, I know that this is why I said that it was a tricky one, because we cannot say get it over, because it is inseparable. If you look,
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
oh yeah, no, sorry. If you look at the list, it's the third one down on the list of inseparable phrasal verbs, which means that the part of the phrasal verb that carries the verb meaning cannot be separated from the preposition. And All of them can never be separated. They always have to come together in exactly the right order. Okay.
Okay, got it.
So rephrase your sentence and don't use the pronoun in the middle.
Okay.
Can you give us the sentence again and just not separate the verb from the preposition?
Okay, my girlfriend broke up with me, but I got over it.
Perfect. Okay, so you used 2 phrasal verbs in that sentence, and that was a great sentence. I definitely think you understand the concepts. Thank you very much. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Okay, Effie, it's your turn. Will you make a sentence for us using the verb take after?
Take after.
Do you know the meaning of take after?
Take after. I actually don't know.
Can anyone help him? Does anyone know the meaning of that phrasal verb?
I think to take after, I'm not sure.
I'm sorry. Repeat your. Oh yeah, to resemble. So that's
look for. It means look for, look like that.
Look like.
Look like, exactly. So to look like or resemble.
Okay, I can make it sentences.
Okay.
John takes after his father in his character.
Yes, exactly. That's a perfect example.
Thank you.
What if we were going to use a pronoun with this inseparable verb? Where would we put the pronoun?
John takes after him in his character.
Yes, perfect. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Who's next? Who's the next person that was it? Lorenzo that was supposed to be next?
John.
Yeah.
After
Yes.
him in his character.
Okay. So Lorenzo, will you do a sentence for me? Now it gets a little more complicated. I'm going to start using 3-word phrasal verbs. So if you go to the list that I'm talking about, the 3rd section is for 3-word phrasal verbs. And the very first one we have on the list is break in on. So it means to interrupt, like a conversation or something. Can you come up with a sentence using break in on?
My son always is breaking in on with my wife.
Okay, you don't need to say with, though. You can say breaking in on conversations with my wife. So either you can say breaking in on my wife, but it's more correct to use breaking in on conversations because this one is transitive and it takes an object. So here the object is conversation.
Breaking in on conversation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. I know that was a tough one because these are getting more and more difficult. How about catch up with? Can Mario make a sentence using catch up with? Mario, can you hear me?
No, I can't.
Okay. So, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Mario?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Will you make a sentence using the verb catch up with?
No, I can't.
Okay. How about Samir? Will you make a sentence using the phrasal verb catch up with?
What does it mean, catch up?
It's on the list of phrasal verbs. I posted the link again if you guys need to see it. It means
Yes.
to, the definition they provide is keep abreast, but if that doesn't make much sense, catch up with can mean like to
Okay. I can
get
say
information.
I can say I catch I catch up with my best friend.
Yes, that's awesome. That's perfect usage. So you catch up with your best friend, and it means that you trade information. Maybe you haven't talked in a long time and you're trading information, catch up with. So like reviewing your lives or whatever.
Okay, may I ask you a question?
Yeah, question, sure.
Is this all the phrasal verb or there is another?
No, these are all phrasal verbs. So all of these on here are phrasal verbs, and the only thing we did today was phrasal verbs. It's kind of a
Is
complicated
there
topic.
of
Oh
another
no,
of this?
oh no. We covered everything. So now you guys already know all the rules as far as phrasal verbs go.
I also have a
It
question.
is useful.
What?
It is useful.
Yes, very useful, definitely.
Yes.
I
So
also have a question.
hopefully you guys will be able to apply these rules to new phrasal verbs that you use, and save these notes in case you need them in the future.
Okay.
Okay, Vincent, will you give us one last sentence before we have to go? Will you use the verb come up with? Use the verb come up with.
Okay, let me see. The scientists came up with new technology.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, guys, I have to start a new class, so I'm going to X out of this one. But if you want to come to my next class, I'm doing another vocabulary class, and I'd be happy to, or not vocabulary, grammar. I'd be happy to have you guys. I'll see you in next class, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.